Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a beginner's makeup bag summer edition. So I just am going to tell you what I think should be in every beginner's makeup bag. Okay, so for foundation, I think the easiest thing for beginners would be like a tinted moisturizer, CC cream, BB cream, and the one that I love and use is the CC cream from It Cosmetics. And I love the packaging. It is a squeezy tube but also pump. So I just put it on the back of my hand and then use a beauty blender to just bounce it into my skin. And that's what I have as my foundation today. It's just a CC cream. And it's supposed to be full coverage. I think it's more of like a medium coverage, but it's really good. And then for concealer, I have two concealers. One of them is just super light, and it's the Glossier Stretch Concealer, and I use the shade Light. And this one is really glossy. Like from Glossier, but it's not like a full coverage. It's super light coverage, just evens out the skin tone. So if you're not looking for very much coverage but you just want to even out your skin tone, maybe just to brighten up the under eye a little bit, and that's what I use today, just underneath my eyes and to put on my eyeshadow. I just put it around my eyes and on my eyelids and buff and bounce it in. So I just use the Glossier Stretch Concealer in the shade Light. And then if I need more coverage in a concealer, I use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. It's just another pot concealer. You just put your finger in and just put it on the spots. I talked about this, I think, in my last two videos. And then to set creams, you always, okay, not always, but most creams you'll need to set. And I just use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder, and mine's in the shade Warm Light. There are a lot of other powders, setting powders. They're either loose or pressed, but I found this one at the drugstore. It's like $4.99 I think, and it's really, really good. And then for eyeshadow palettes, especially for beginners, I think one of the best ones at the drugstore is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette. It just has a whole bunch of matte shades, and this is mainly what I have on my eyes today. I have found myself reaching for this almost more than any other palette that I have right now. So I always keep that in my bag with me. And then another palette that I just love for the summer is this Yes Please palette from Colourpop. And it's just full of warm tones. And I have a video coming out on this one versus the Natasha Denona, so keep watching for that. I love this. It has a lot of matte shades in here to do like a complete eye look. It has a lot of like pops of shimmer, and this is just beautiful for the summertime. It just has a lot of warm tones, and you can get a lot of different looks. You can get really neutral, but you can get like a pop of color. You can get really bright, and I just love this palette. And then another option if you don't like love warm tones is the Dream Street palette, also from Colourpop, and this is the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop collab. And this is the inside, and I love this one because it has a few pops of color in there. It has a lot of matte shades that you can do a lot with, but it also has beautiful, beautiful like metallic shades, and they are so creamy. Colourpop has one of like the best like drugstore, they're not drugstore, but like the most drugstore priced pressed shadows that I just love. So this is a really, really great palette for ones that like a little bit, it has warm and cool tones in it. Let's do this shade up here. So I just love this one. And then the e.l.f. palette also has like warm and cool, so even if you like the Colourpop Yes Please palette with like all the warm tones, you can get some cool toned looks if you have this one and that one. So for bronzer, my favorite for like a beginner would be the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, just in the original shade Bronzer. They have I think four shades now, but the original bronzer shade is just my favorite. You can, oh, it's so beautiful. It is like it's like a neutral bronzer. It's not too warm and it's not too cool, so I love this one for beginners because you can like contour with it, but you can also just bronze up the face with it. It has a little bit of a sheen, so you can do both with it, and I think it's perfect. And then for blush, I don't really think like you can go wrong with blush. It just depends. Everyone kind of has personal preference with blush, but I really am loving the Flower Beauty blushes, and this one is in the shade Peach Primrose, and it is so pretty. This one is more matte, but it's the one I have on my cheeks today, and when I applied it, it does have like a little bit of a sheen, but not too much. It's not as much sheen as like the Burt's Bees ones, so it's a little bit more on the matte side, and I like that. But I think for the summer, like a peachy, just like a warm tone peachy blush is just perfect for beginners. It goes with so many looks. You can use it with almost everything. It doesn't have to be a cool tone look. It doesn't have to be a warm tone look. You can just pop this on your cheeks and it'll look good with anything. And then for highlight, I love the Fenty Beauty highlight. And the reason I chose this one for like beginners, it is high-end, so it's pretty expensive. I think it's like $30 or around there, I want to say, which is pretty expensive. But it does come with two, and one of them is more just like a sheen. And then the other one, on the other side, you can like build it up to get like a blinding highlight. So the reason I like this one, especially for beginners, is number one, the formula is amazing. I've had this since I think like Christmas, and I use it a ton, and it's like barely, it'll last you forever, and you can get like a soft highlight with it, or you can build it up with and get like a blinding highlight. So I like this one because you can get both sides with it. And then for mascara, my favorite mascara is the Benefit Roller Lash, and I will always recommend this. It's one I have on my lashes right now. It's just so easy to apply. I love the formula, and it makes my eyelashes look so good. Look at that. So it makes me just feel so pretty, and it just makes me feel so put together. I just cannot get enough of this one. I gave it to my mom for her birthday, and she put it on, and I was like, hello. So I ran out and got it, and I can't put it down. And then for brows, I think for beginners, either a powder or a pencil brow product will be the easiest. My favorite is the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and mine is in the shade Dark Brown, and it has a spoolie on one end, so you just brush through your brows, and then on the other end is just the pencil. And this formula is amazing. I love it. It's lasted me a long time, and you don't need very much product for your brows to look full and thick and pretty. Or if you don't want them thick, you can just define them. Just however you want them to look. This will do it. And then for lips, I think for like a beginner, I love the Maybelline Hot Vivid Lacquer. I think I might have swatched this for you, but it's just such a pretty, like, warm tone pink. It's just it's a perfect nude for like a beginner. It gives like something on your lips, but it's not like, oh my gosh, like you have something on your lips. It's just beautiful. And then for the summer, I have loved the CoverGirl Oh Sugar vitamin infused balms. They're tinted balms, so you can they have a bunch of different colors, but I love this one. It just is more of like a grape berry color, and it's just like sheer. It's just beautiful. It just gives your lips a little pop of color without looking cakey or like you have like lipstick on. And then everyone needs a good gloss in their beginner makeup bag. And my favorite gloss right now is the Ultra Glossy Lip from Colourpop in the shade Moonchild. It's also a Kathleen Lights Colourpop collaboration, and it's the one I have on my lips right now. It's a nude, but it has like gold glitter on it, and it is just beautiful. If I'm having a hard time knowing like what lip will go really good with like an eye look that I'm doing, I just pop on Moonchild and it just completes every look. And then finally, for brushes, I think everybody needs a beauty blender. It doesn't have to be the beauty blender. I really like the Real Techniques one. It looks like it's cut off like that, but it's a really good one. And then I think everyone needs like a fluffy setting powder brush. This is the one that I use with my Photo Focus pressed powder. You just pop it in and just put it over. Mine's breaking, or it's broken because I use it so much, but that's okay. I just hold it up here now. So, and that one's from e.l.f. And then for bronzer, I really like this one from Real Techniques. It's one of their sculpting brushes. But this is just perfect because I can chisel with this one, so I can chisel with it if I hold it to the side, or if I just want to like bronze my whole face, I just hold it like this and it gives me more of like an all over. I don't have to just like contour with it. I think everyone just needs a blush brush, and I use like a more dense packed blush brush from e.l.f. And then I used 2 eye brushes on this entire eye look that I did. I used my big fluffy It brushes from Ulta fluffy brush. It's just a blending crease brush and it is my absolute favorite. If you have one eye brush in your collection, I think it should be this one. This is the one that I use every single day the most. I just use it honestly for almost every color, and then I packed on my shimmer shade with my finger, and then I just had I just have this one from Real Techniques. It's just a fluffy brush that I use for light shades or like highlighting shades or like cream bone shades, to highlight my brow bone and just to like blend out the edges. So, and then the other one that I think should be in every beginner's is a small packing brush. So these are like the only 3 eye brushes that you like absolutely need, is I think 2 blending brushes and then a packing brush, and you can do, as long as you wash them adequately and often, then this should be good. And then I just have my highlighting brush, and then you just pop it on right here, a little bit on your nose, and you just feel so pretty. And then I just have my Bite Agave lip balm, because I can't really do much without that. I feel like I have to have that everywhere with me. But that is my beginner's makeup bag for you. I think this is like the staples that people should have in their makeup bag for a beginner. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thanks, bye. It's like the original shade bronzer. I think they have 4 shades, but